Now time is 7:25. Okay. By 8:15, this session should get over. So in this span of, let's say, 45 minutes to 15 minutes, first I would like to speak something, and thereafter we can have a small discussion or your questions on whatever I have spoken. Is that okay for all of you? Yeah. When I see you all, I remember my time at CRS. That is most wonderful time. One of my most happiest times in my life so far has been my stay at CRS. It was 4 years, 1996 to 2000. Well, that's a different time. Now coming to the topic, after I speak, I will be asking you some questions based on what I am speaking. If you have a notebook or something to note down, otherwise keep in your head. So what is the topic for the day? The topic is, what are the salient aspects Sanathana Dharma or Hinduism? Okay. Meaning, what are things if a person accepts, more than accepts, what are the things if a person understands and feels strongly about, a person can be called a Hindu. Okay. So what is the topic? What are the salient features of Hinduism? You all know I don't have to tell that Hinduism is not a name which is inherent to our culture. You all know that, right? So actual name, we don't have actual name at all. We don't have a name. Of course, after a lot of thinking, people have decided that it's better to call this as Sanathana Dharma. Sanatana means ancient, Dharma means way of life or righteousness. So what are the essential aspects? Number one, I'll be telling 5 points. Number one is the source book of Sanathana Dharma. What is the source book of Sanathana Dharma? Anybody? Before we go into that, what are the various aspects of the Indian knowledge tradition? There are 14 important, anybody knows that? 14 important knowledge systems. I'll tell a verse, kindly repeat after me. Angani Veda Shatvaro. And as you say now, see if you can get the 14 out. Okay? Angani Veda Shatvaro. Purano Nyaya Vistaraha. Do you remember the first line? Angani Vedaschatvaro Purano Nyaya Vistaraha. Purano Nyaya Vistaraha. Mimamsa Dharma Shastram Cha. Mimamsa Dharma Shastram Cha. Can we say first 3 lines together now? Angani Vedaschatvaro Purano Nyaya Vistaraha Mimamsa Dharma Shastram Cha Vidya Hetaschaturdasha.
vidya hetaschaturdasha. Whole verse can we say? By heart, huh? Angani vedaschatvaro purano mamsa dharma shastram cha vidya hetaschaturdasha. Last line is vidya hetaschaturdasha. Hetaschaturdasha. Now can I pick up somebody? What about you? You can sit down, sit down. Tvaro Purano Nyaya Vistaraha Mimamsa Dharma Shastram Cha Vidya Hetaschaturdasha. Good. One more. You, the one who is sitting on the near the pillar. Yes. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Nivedaschatvaro Purano Nyaya Vistaraha Mimamsa Dharma Shastram Cha Vidya Hetaschaturdasha. That's good. Now together again. Angani Vedaschatvaro Purano Nyaya Vistaraha Mimamsa Dharma Shastram Cha Vidya Hetaschaturdasha. Chaturdasha. Chatur is 4. Dasha 10. Chaturdasha not 44. 14. Vidya Hetaschaturdasha. These are the 14. What are the 14? First, Angani. When you say Angani, they are the limbs of the Vedas. Anga means limb. Angani, the various limbs of the Vedas. Anybody knows what are the various limbs? Shall I? I will come to that. Angani, when you say the 6 limbs of the Vedas, I'll just relate. You please note down. Shiksha. Okay, first one is what? Shiksha. Second one, Kalpa. So, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandaha, Nirukta, Chandaha, Jyotisha. Okay. So these are the 6 limbs. I'll say again, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandas, Jyotisha. Shall I say again? Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandas, Jyotisha. So these are the 6 limbs. Shiksha is signs of pronunciation. Now the same thing I will say in English now. Shiksha is signs of pronunciation. Kalpa is a signs of action, you can say. Signs of performance of an act. So signs of action, Kalpa. So signs of pronunciation. So how do you pronounce? This is also a signs. No? Sometimes we can make a mistake. In Tamil they have a letter Ra. A pronunciation Ra. That how do you pronounce it? Ra. Some people, if you ask how La, Ra, how do you get it? Ra. So how do you pronounce that? Yeah. So very, for example, La is there, La is there. So this is the art, how do you pronounce rightly? If you see small kids, they will have difficulty pronunciation. Then the teacher would say, the mother would say, your tongue should touch there and from there. How do you say na? Not na. Na. You must have seen A for apple. That's a kind of that's a signs of pronunciation also, no? A for apple, B for boy, whatever it may be. C for cat. Now you have in English like that. In Sanskrit also, there's a lot of emphasis given to the signs of pronunciation. That's called shiksha. Then kalpa, signs of action, I mentioned to you. Vyakarana, grammar. Nirukta, how do you understand words? Washington. It doesn't mean that he requires tons of washing powder to wash himself. No? The word doesn't. Leaf. How does the word come about? For example, the word religion. Religion comes from the word religare. It's a Latin word. Religare means to go back to the source. Some of the words you can derive, some of the words difficult. In Sanskrit, every word comes from a particular root. I'll give you an example. Samshaya. What does samshaya mean? Doubt, is it not? Doubt. And if you look at the word samshaya, how it comes about, shay means to sleep. So sam means to sleep well, samyak. Samyak shete. That because of which your knowledge sleeps well is called a doubt. When a doubt is there, you do not really know it. No? There's a problem about it. So this is called as etymology. So shiksha, kalpa, vyakarana, nirukta, etymology. Then chandas. Chandas is the poetry. How to, prosody, how poetry. Jyotisha is astronomy and astrology. Shiksha, kalpa, vyakarana, nirukta, chanda, jyotisha. So these 6 are called as Vedangas. So this is Angani. So Angani Vedas Chatvaraha. 4 Vedas, that I'm sure all of you know. 4 Vedas are Rik, Yajus, Sama, Atharva. So Angani Vedas Chatvaru. Then Purana, the 18 Puranas. 18 Puranas. Then Nyaya Vistaraha. Nyaya Vistara means elaborate science of logic. So this is another aspect of knowledge. Then Mimamsa. Mimamsa is of 2 types. One is called as the Purva Mimamsa. Another is called as Uttara Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa is the science of rituals. And Uttara Mimamsa is the science of philosophy. So you have the Vedas themselves 2 types. One which deals with rituals, another which deals with philosophy. So these 2 things come under Mimamsa. Okay. Dharma Shastram. Dharma Shastram, the science of living. How to lead a right life. So all these things. So Angani is 6, is it not? Veda is 4. So that becomes 10. Then you have Purana, which is 11. Then you have Nyaya, which is 12. Is it not? The science of logic. Then you have Mimamsa. Mimamsa is the Vedic knowledge itself. The philosophical knowledge as well as the ritual knowledge, the Mimamsa. That is number 13. And 14 is what? Purano, Nyaya, Vistra. Then Dharma Shastra. Science of righteous living. So all these things are the 14 knowledge systems of the country, and all of them are rooted in the Veda. So the first aspect of Hinduism is that Vedas are the source of the entire knowledge. Okay, this is number 1. Number 2 is, so when I say Hinduism, the first salient feature which should come to your mind is that Hinduism or Sanathana Dharma is that way of life wherein the source of the entire knowledge system is the Veda. First point. Okay? Is the first point clear? Now we go to the second point. The second point is that in Sanathana Dharma there is a very strong acceptance of reincarnation or rebirth. Okay? So this is the second thing. So when I talk of salient features of Hinduism, number 1, Vedas are the source of knowledge. Number 2, there is a belief, there is an acceptance of reincarnation. Reincarnation, that after death, there is again the rebirth of the soul. Now, how is that kind of acceptance there? What is the logic behind it? You see, all of us know that energy or matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can only be transformed from one form to another. What is this law called as? Law of conservation of energy. Energy can neither be destroyed nor created, but it can only be transformed from one form to another. Now, when a person dies, when I say a person dies, now what happens to that person? The body is either buried, cremated, whatever you do, that is there. But when you cremate the body or bury the body, only the body is destroyed. What happens to the mind? Can you say mind is also destroyed when the body is destroyed? You cannot say that. Why? Because mind is subtler. Mind is a very subtle energy which cannot be destroyed by what happens to the body. You can hit a person, but can you hit the person's mind? I can break the bulb, but can I break the electricity? So, mind is a subtle energy, and to say the mind is also destroyed when the body is destroyed is a logical error. It's an error. It's a mistake. Therefore, we say, even after the body is destroyed, the mind survives. And the mind takes an incarnation. Incarnation means the mind again takes an embodiment. To incarnate is to have a fresh embodiment, a new embodiment. Right? So this is called as a doctrine of reincarnation. So this is a second principle of Hinduism. Number one, Vedas are the source of knowledge. Number two, the philosophy or the doctrine of reincarnation. Now please, I'm sure you will have some questions. Kindly keep it with you. At the end, you will have some time where you can ask. Okay? Third, now we are talking of 5 principles. Now I have covered 2 principles. What is the first principle? Vedas are the source of knowledge. Number 2, the doctrine of reincarnation. Number 3, one reality, many paths. Now, you suppose you must have heard, in some kind of some religions and all, you have some, this alone is the way. This God alone saves. In Hinduism, what we do is that we only avoid the word alone. We have no objection when somebody says, this God alone saves, or this God alone is the way. We don't have any objection with respect to that God. We only say, why can't you change this alone into also? You understand? Alone you change into also. Only you change into also. Because here the system is that there is one reality, but there are many paths. There is no one way to truth. In mathematics also, suppose some sum is there. You work out the answers or not? Then afterwards, sometimes you ask, is there any other easier way to solve the problem? Okay? And really speaking, each of our mind is very, very different. In your class also you will find different people think differently. Somebody says, no, you should not do this way, you should not talk this way. What is wrong if I talk that way? I should say what I feel, is it not? No, you should not always say. You should say in a way it doesn't hurt. That means if you should tell lies. A simple point to see how people think differently. And people should have freedom. People should have freedom to think. We require freedom, and each one have got a different way of looking at things. So considering the variety in the human mind, which is there, naturally there, in Sanathana Dharma or Hinduism, we say reality can be approached in various ways. This is a beautiful verse. Some of you might have heard this verse. Akashat patitam toyam. Have you heard this verse? Anybody remembers? Akasha. Akasha you all know, is it not? Space. Meaning sky. Akashat patitam toyam. Patitam means fallen down. Toyam, water. Hey, how come you know? Sanskrita. Akashat patitam toyam. Now, the water which falls from the sky, now what happens? It becomes various rivers. For the Ganges, you've got the Brahmaputra, you've got the Amazon, you've got the Nile, you've got so many rivers, isn't it? Some other names. Euphrates, you've got Tigris, I can't remember all. Narmada, Sindhu, Godavari. I'm telling all the Indian rivers name. Krishna, but any other outside country name? Mississippi, Thames, Nile I told. Huh? Congo also I told. No. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What happens? All this water which falls from the sky, can you pay attention? Becomes various rivers, and all these rivers take various directions. Taking various directions, what happens? All the rivers reach the same ocean, isn't it not? In the same way, people with different minds, with different interests, they take various ways and reach one ultimate truth. This is a very, very important aspect of Sanathana Dharma, that we don't tell everybody walk this path alone, not this way, this worship, this God alone. No. There is freedom and choice. So this is the third aspect of Hinduism. So let's summarize first. Number one, Vedas are the source of knowledge. Number two, doctrine of reincarnation. Number three, one reality, many paths. Okay. Three. Now these are all. See, when you say that this, suppose you say I am a Hindu, then you must know these things and all are. You should be clear about that. Okay. And all these things, there must be clarity of and thought and understanding should have been there. And fourth one is that same reality, call whatever name you want, that sometimes people prefer the word truth, sometimes people prefer the word Lord, sometimes people prefer the word God, sometimes Ishvara, whatever be the name, it doesn't matter. That same Lord, that highest truth, the creator of this universe, he incarnates. I am not using the word reincarnates, please remember. I am using the word incarnates. Reincarnate means what? Because of your actions, you get a birth. That is called reincarnate. Incarnate means that God appears. Can you tell me what is the Sanskrit term for God coming? Anybody? Avatar. Yes. Avatar. And remember, this is also very important. God does not take avatar only in India. God can take avatar anywhere in the world. And that is why the Bhagavata says, avataraha asankyeya. Okay. Somebody had a question? So there are innumerable avatars of the Lord. Okay. That is number. Now, some words you must be knowing. Bhagavad Gita, we have this famous verse which talks of avatara. 2 verses are there. Yada, yada. Tell me, can you remember? Yada, yada hi dharmas. Yada, yada hi dharmasya. ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहं परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. These two verses speak about the doctrine of incarnation. What it says is that there are some times when the leader himself has to come for action. In the classes, I think in CRS we have 4 houses, no? Vashishta, Valmiki, Vyasa, Vishwamitra, right? When I was in CRS, it's like different in the dress, you know. That also. Full blue, full green, full, acha, it is there. But this is looking nice. Better. Okay. So what happens? Your houses, then your house leaders and all those things, and then sometimes the house leader himself handles it, the work, you know, you do it. Sometimes the houses have also got teachers, is it not? As in charge. Sometimes the teacher has to handle. Sometimes the teacher also is not sufficient. On top of the teacher, all the teachers, probably school dean, something should be there. Sometimes heading the whole school is a principal. Sometimes principal also is not sufficient. Right? Resident director. Am I right? Resident director. Sometimes resident director also is not. For example, Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes, let us say, to the school. Now, at that time, the top person of the whole Chinmaya mission should be there, is it not? Sometimes there will be some issues which require the entire trust board to handle. You see? Now in the country also, suppose let's say foreign minister comes. Foreign minister comes, the prime minister is not required. Another foreign minister goes, shakes hands, welcome, please come. India welcomes, everybody come, and then discussion, all those things happen. But suppose somebody very, very important, let's say the president of a country comes, then the prime minister himself is there. You see? So at different occasions, different leaders are required. Sometimes the situation is very, very, I'm talking of a different thing, till now visiting I spoke, but sometimes when the problem is very, very massive, it can't be solved by leaders which are down the line. But the topmost person is also required to come. And not only to solve the problem, but the topmost person is required also to guide the people forward. Not just solve a problem, but also to help people forward. No? Always there is no necessity to solve a problem. But we want to really help somebody move forward, then it is said that topmost leader of the whole universe, the Lord himself arrives. That arrival, the word avatara means arrive, to come down. So this is called as doctrine of incarnation. So this is another, I spoke about Lord himself coming, but another point also we must keep in mind is that there is no requirement that the Lord will incarnate only in one part of the globe. In some kind of systems you have such a concept, we have the chosen people. Isn't it not? But ऐसा नहीं है यहाँ. सब chosen ही है. All are children of God, and God comes anywhere according to the need. Okay? So what are the 4 principles? Principle number 1, Vedas are the source of knowledge. Principle number 2, doctrine of reincarnation. Doctrine number 3, one reality, many paths. Doctrine number 4, doctrine of incarnation, not reincarnation, doctrine of incarnation. Okay? Now, 5th point. These are the 5 salient aspects of Hinduism. There may be various, from anywhere around the world, there could, Hindus could be there, worshipping any god, following any kind of culture, eating any kind of food, wearing whatever be the dress. It doesn't matter. These things are very external. But these 5 are common to all Hindus. And what is the 5th one? The 5th one is let me say in Sanskrit, later on we can think about the translation. Varna Ashrama concept. Okay? Varna Ashrama. Varna. Varna. Varna means color. Color, shade. Shades of mind. Okay? Shades of mind. Each mind is very different. Varna. See, there are 3 important qualities in the mind. One is serenity. Okay? Serenity. Serenity, peace, calm, quietude. That is one quality. All of us have all these 3 qualities. First quality is serenity. Second quality is dynamism. Dynamic. Action. Dynamism. And third quality is inertia. Dullness. Little lazy. Don't we all have all these 3? Even here some of you must be all there. Isn't it? One person is like that. So many things are there, huh? But sometimes you feel so peaceful. And then whatever you are listening, it just goes into your mind. Sometimes the mind is so agitated. Whatever is happening, it just goes from here and goes here. But your mind is not listening. You are only opening the eyes. But mind is somewhere. Today, what is the program? Where we are going? That, mind. Agitation. And sometimes the mind is all kinds of mind is there. So these are the 3 shades of the mind. What are 3 shades of the mind? Serenity, dynamism, and inertia. In Sanskrit, there is a name for all these things. You all know? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So, based on this, the person is different. If serenity is high, predominant, dynamism is slightly lesser, and inertia is still lesser, then such a person is capable of deep studies, a great analysis and research. Such people, they are thinkers, they are researchers, they are teachers, they are visionaries, they are discoverers, they invent. Okay? So this is, so suppose what is Varna, the doctrine of Varna, the doctrine of shades, mental shades, what does it mean? It means, as per your mind, you decide what you want to do in life. But suppose dynamism is more, serenity is less, and inertia is lesser, but dynamism is predominant, then such a person is a very capable leader, is a good administrator, and he can lead people forward fearlessly. Such people we will find in the world are administrators, are managers, are very competent, efficient workers. Now, depending on this, suppose you find this is your mind, then you must take a work like this. So this is a very important thing. You should not be a misfit in life. Right? Now what did I say? serenity. So if predominance is serenity, followed by dynamism, then by inertia, then such a person has to be this kind of first type. Researcher, thinker, discoverer, inventor, teacher, professor, etc., etc. Visionary. Now, suppose dynamism is more, but serenity is lesser, and then you have inertia still lesser, then such a person has to become a administrator, manager. Sometimes you have these officers, they operate, you have, in some institute you have CKO, Chief Knowledge Officer, that's the first type. Sometimes you have what are the O's are there? CFO, COO. They are people who control the whole thing, So they are the second type. The third type you have, dynamism is more, but next to dynamism comes inertia. In the second type, what happened? Dynamism was more, next to dynamism came serenity. But now dynamism is more, next comes inertia, and third comes serenity. Then you will find such people, they have a great capacity to enter into fields that generate a lot of revenue. You could say that they excel in the field of business. Third mental shade. Okay? Now this is analysis they have done now. You should also analyze. I don't have so much time to explain in detail everything, but you should keep in mind these are the things. And the fourth one, inertia highest. Okay? Inertia highest. So themselves they can't think much. And next to inertia comes dynamism. And the last one is serenity. And such people, okay, this is also another mental shade. In this shade, what happens is that they are capable of executing things. You tell do it, they'll do it. And after doing it, they'll sit down. Why? Nothing to do. You think, kya think karna? Let me sit. You tell what to do. I will do. Okay? Now they are very capable for work. Just work. But somebody has to direct them. You understand? So these are the four mental shades, and depending on the mental shade we have to choose our work. Otherwise we'll mess up our life. Suppose I'm very good in business, no? And I become a doctor. What will I do there? There I will do business. There is no need for a MRI scan. But I've got to tie up with a MRI lab. So I have a cut. I say you go do MRI. Suppose I'm a very good teacher. And I can think myself, envision much. But then what happened? I work in a place where somebody tells me do this. Then I'll say, no, that is not right. We have to do this. That fellow will get angry with me. Why? Who are you to tell me? I am the person who is supposed to tell you. You understand? Therefore, choose your work according to your mental shade. So let me call this last one Doctrine of Mental Shade. Okay? Varna. This is Varna. Next is Ashrama. Ashrama means don't think this is Ashrama. This is also Ashrama. The word Ashrama means stage. That's what in Sanskrit the word Ashrama means stage. S-T-A-G-E. Stage. We go through different stages in life. When we are young children, we go to study. Children should study. Children should not go to work. Brahmacharya Ashrama. Then you go to Grihastha Ashrama. That is a stage where you have to serve and to work. At this stage, when Grihastha Ashrama, you should not say, no, I love to study, I'll be studying only. No, that is not to be done. You can study, but the focus is on work. Grihastha, household life. The third stage is semi-retirement. Withdraw from, you're getting old. Now is the time when you feel a higher call in life. You just feel, that's all. Then you retire, then you start thinking, what? Now, the books are there, wonderful books are there, what are they talking? You want to, before Brahmacharya Ashram itself, you start studying, but now you go deeper. If you are interested, and you will become interested at that time very much. Some people get interest before itself, that is very good. But usually, people get more interest at that time. Retired life. Okay? Semi-retired. So, Brahmacharya student, Grihastha household, then semi-retired life, and last is active life towards God. That is called retired life. But fully active, your goal is God. There you work towards it. That's called sannyas. Okay? So, doctrine of mental shades and doctrine of stages. So last one, doctrine of mental shade and stage of life. Then at that stage you must do that. Student, study. Household, work and serve the society. Then next you go, semi-retired life, focus on the deeper aspects of life. And the last one, focus on the ultimate truth. This is the thing. So these are the 5 salient features of Hinduism. Okay? Shall we summarize? Number 1, Vedas are the source of knowledge. What are the number of aspects of knowledge? 14. Can we tell that verse? Angani Vedashatvaro Purano Nyaya Vistaraha Mimamsa Dharma Shastram Cha Vidya Hetashchaturdasha. 14. And the whole source comes from Veda. Second, doctrine of reincarnation for the individual. Okay? All of us. Our life is not a full stop. Our life is a sentence, but death is not a full stop, but a comma or a semicolon. It continues. Death is not a full stop. That is the doctrine of reincarnation. Okay? Third one reality, many paths. So when you say many paths, therefore itself many gods, deities. But God is one. Many deities. Many forms. Many ways of worship. Many kinds of symbolism. These are all the natural result of the third doctrine. Doctrine of one reality, many paths. And fourth is doctrine of incarnation. Not for individual, but for the Lord. And number 5, doctrine of many mental shades and stages. What is the summary of the fifth point is, choose your work according to your mental shade, according to your mind. Choose your work according to your mind. And next is what? Do your duty as per where you are, what stage you are. Okay? So all these 5 constitute the salient features of Hinduism. So if you say that I am a Sanathana Dharma person, I am a Hindu, whatever name you want to say, these 5 you must have clarity. Okay? Only if you have clarity, then there will be belief. And only if there is clarity and belief, there will be faith. And only if there is clarity, belief and faith, you will feel sure. Hinduism is a religion. I won't say religion, it's a very poor word, but what to do? These are the words available in English. Hinduism is a very, very logical thought. Very logical. You cannot say, I believe and therefore I am a Hindu. No. You have to understand. Only then you are. Okay? And this is one kind of thought which is so accommodative that it does not feel any kind of difference with any kind of caste, community, religion, nothing, nationality, nothing. It is so embracing. In English, there's a word Catholic for that. Okay. In its approach. So, that is why a Christian can be a Hindu. You understand? A Muslim can be a Hindu. A Hindu need not be a Hindu. You see? It has to come in understanding. When Swami Vivekananda had gone to USA and he was giving his lectures, one of the ladies said, Swami Ji, can I convert myself into a Hindu? Then Swami Ji said, to be a good Christian is to be a Hindu. Understand? It's a very different kind of understanding this country, this culture has given to the whole world. And that is what makes India Jagat Guru. Somebody said he is Jagat Guru. Huh? How he is Jagat Guru? Because his disciple's name is Jagat. That cannot become Jagat Guru. Jagat Guru is who has got that vision to share knowledge with the whole world in a very, very broad way. Okay? I think that's all. Now we are 8:12, 8:14 we are now. That's the time. Is something you want to ask or shall I ask? Yes?
You kept on mentioning the word mind. What do you mean by mind? Where is the mind in our body?
Okay, very good question. Please sit down. His question is, I kept on speaking about mind. What is mind and where is mind in the body? Suppose now you please, okay, as I'm talking now, you can ask me in between. Right? Now, when I'm talking, what's happening? Whatever I'm talking comes in the form of thoughts to you, is it not? This thought going one after another, are you listening carefully? This thought going one after another, like a flow of a river, is called mind. Okay? So, one thought followed by next thought, followed by next thought, followed by next thought, a stream of thoughts, a flow of thoughts, a river of thoughts is called mind. Okay? So, I have answered the first question, what is the mind? Now, the second question is a little tough. Where is the mind? Okay? Now, suppose I touch you. Suppose somebody touches you and say, hey, don't touch me. Now, that means what? Your mind is there also, is it not? Otherwise, how would you know? Your mind is throughout you. But we may say, the mind requires the brain for its expression. Right? Like how to see you require eye. To see you require eye. But when the eye is not there, it doesn't mean that you cannot see. The power of vision lies in you but cannot express because it requires the eye. Suppose you get cataract and no operation has not been done or anything like that. Totally your vision becomes blind. Your vision may go blind because eyes are not there, but your vision is not blind. Your vision is still there. Is it not? The same way, when the brain is not alive, the mind cannot have an expression. But your mind is everywhere. But your brain is a conduit, or you may say your brain is a office for the mind. Okay? You want to ask something on that? Please think. It's a very deep question you have asked. And I will also ask you one more question which you have to think. Does brain create the mind? Or is mind independent of the brain? You please think on that. It's a very deep question. Yes.
Swami, you said that we have decided our work in accordance with shade of the mind.
Yeah.
How do we know what shade is that?
Okay, good question. What's your age now? 13, 14, 15. Okay. See, I will tell you my case. When I was a small kid, no, I used to go to the shop. My mother used to go purchase this thing, that thing, and come. So she used to give money. I used to go. And I saw the shopkeeper was having lots of cashew nuts and all those things. And I used to love cashew nut. So I thought when I grow up, I should become a shopman. Because I can have all cashew nuts. I was immature. Right? My mind had not evolved to grasp what I should do in my life. Then I grew up. Second standard, third standard, I came to fifth standard, sixth standard. And another time, I was in Chennai. So in our school, there was an excursion. They took us to an airport, aerodrome. At that time, it was a big thing, airport. Now it's nothing. At that time, I'm talking now, how many years back now? Must be 35 years, 30 years back. So we all went, and there, we could not go inside. There was some kind of gate kind of thing, and all the students, all of us were standing outside and looking into that gate, and we saw the aeroplane landing. Huge one. Landing. And all the people came out and all those things. And afterwards I saw well dressed. Okay? Looking very smart. With cap and then white dress, white pant, suit and all those things, and then shoes and talk. I asked, who is? He's a pilot. And I thought I should become a pilot. Then I grew up. Then I was in my school, when we were children, 7th standard or 8th standard, there was a lesson on Albert Schweitzer. I don't know whether that lesson is still there. Albert Schweitzer, is it there? Must have changed syllabus. He was a doctor in Africa, and then he had gone, and then he was serving all those people there, and people had a lot of problems, health issues, and he helped and all those things. And I was reading all those things, and I said, I should become a doctor. Understand? Now that was 8th standard. Then I started working for becoming a doctor. So I started getting all biology books and studying because I wanted to become a doctor. And I had grown up by that time, so I could make a goal, envision how I should do. Then I came to know there's an MBBS examination, so I started preparing from 8th standard for MBBS. Then 11th standard I was studying. I went to Siddhabari in Himachal Pradesh. My father took me. As a young boy, you just go where your parents take you. So I went there. And Gurudev was teaching. Indian philosophy, Vivekachudamani, Vedanta, Gurudev was teaching. I was listening. And I became inspired. But this inspiration is very different. Okay? This inspiration was deep. This inspiration was full commitment. This inspiration was not to impress the world. This inspiration was not because somebody said, yeah, you should become a doctor, it's very good. This inspiration was in spite of people telling me, don't do this. And it would not go away. Oh, my whole mind was filled with this knowledge only, what Gurudev was teaching. I said, how to realize this truth? How to realize this truth? I could not. Day and night I was dreaming of this and this alone. But other things was not like that. So how do you know what you want to do? If there is something which inspires you, if that inspiration is in spite of what people tell you, do it or don't do it. And if that inspiration continues regardless of what wealth you will have and what wealth you will not have, and if that inspiration keeps on growing, and if that inspiration floods your heart and soul and mind and everything, remember, that is what you want to do. That is what you have to do. But sometimes you have to wait for that also. Okay? So don't you worry about what you have to do. Just keep doing what you are doing now. And I'm sure as life evolves, you evolve, what you want to do also will become clear. Okay? It takes time. Everything doesn't happen early. Everything takes time. So sometimes you have to wait for time also. But it will happen. But as I told you, how to find out what is that you want to do? What is that you will do in spite of other people telling you must do or you must not do? What is that you will do regardless of gains and loss in the world? What is that really inspires and holds your heart? That is what your mental shade tells you. Yes, it is not that easy to recognize. It takes time. Ma'am, mind and intellect are nothing but thoughts. Yeah. It is actually the mind which becomes intellect. In Sanskrit, we have used two words, manas, buddhi. Manas is when you have a vacillation. This way, that way, this way, that way. Meaning, you are in the thinking process. But when the thinking process becomes decisive, or when you have decided, when there is no more vacillation, but there is decisiveness, then the mind has graduated to become the intellect. So mind and intellect, manas and buddhi, are same but in their graduation. Now it's time for me to ask you a question, right? And this I will ask anybody. Ready? Those who are not ready can put your head down, no problem. Those who are ready can keep your heads like this. But I do not know the name, so I will have to say in ways I can identify you. Here, this row, the one with the specs, yes. Yes, you only, you are the only. You can sit down and answer. What is the second salient principle of Hinduism? Doctrine of reincarnation. Last person, green, Vishwamitra. Yes. What is the fifth principle of Hinduism? Others kindly don't prompt, okay? I know you all are friends and you love each other, I know that. I can give you a clue. Doctrine of your work should depend upon your mind. Okay? Doctrine of mental shades and stages of life. Okay? Doesn't matter. So now what you must do, you must write for me what this fifth principle is in little detail and give it to me. Okay? Before you go. Next, how many are the knowledge aspects? How many are the knowledge aspects of Indian tradition? How many? I'm not asking what are, how many? No, you already answered 14. Okay. What is the source of the entire knowledge tradition? Please raise your hand. Vedas, okay. How many Vedangas are there? Yes. No, Vedanga. Vedas are 4. Vedanga. 8, no. That's all the numbers you experimented. Very good. It is 6. Can one of you tell me one example of a Vedanga? Yes, you? Kalpa. What is Kalpa? Signs of action. Okay, that's sufficient. That verse 14, can we repeat? Angani? Angani vedashatvaro purano nyaya vistaraha mimamsa dharma shastram cha vidya hetaschatur dasha.